Hey everybody, welcome to the Sully Squad. We got big things going on tonight. We had a huge Eagles draft. We got the Sixers, and Joel Embiid once again. What's there three things guaranteed in life, right? Death, taxes, and Joel Embiid being questionable in the second round. We got Bryce Harper coming back. So we got some things to be positive about, and of course, unfortunately, the Sixers are, hey, we'll see what happens there, right? But the big thing I really want to get into is the draft, and we have special guest, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro is going to hop on with us in a second here. So before we get into that, our group here, I got my man Sean Kilrain to my left.
How you doing, guys? What's up?
Paul making a house call. What's up, Paul? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. How are you?
My man, Mr. 6 for 6 on the bottom, Diego the Hammer Bianchi. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing
Good.
pretty good. And then I got my man in the top corner, brings all the energy, my man Mike Fuji. What's up, bro? How you doing, dog?
Bryce Harper back, Dave Spadaro in the house to talk a fantastic, superb draft by Howie Roseman. Let's get the party rocking. Let's get Dave Spadaro on. Let's get the party going. What's up, fellas? Happy Monday to everybody.
Let's
Hey,
go.
and by the way, I'm rocking the T-shirt of the best general manager of the National Football League, Mr. Howie Roseman. All right, so we're gonna get Dave Spadaro's opinion on that. So here we go. Without further ado, let's get Dave on here.
Let's get it going.
I like it. Hi, guys.
Hi,
What's
Tom.
up, Dave?
How are you?
What's up, man?
Good.
Hi, Dave. How you doing? Thanks.
Good. How you doing? I mean, Mike, get some water, Mike. You need to recover there, pal. Got like 3 gallons of water there.
Ready to talk Eagles football.
Let's do it.
Yeah, well, listen, Dave. I really appreciate your time. I mean, I've been a big fan. I mean, I go back. I remember reading Eagles Digest.
Yeah,
Awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, all that time, and I'll tell you, as an Eagles fan, I mean, I am just like, I remember the Mike Mamula drafts, and I remember the John Harris drafts.
You mean you didn't like those drafts?
No. And now obviously these guys have to play. You know what I mean? So let's not start handing out Super Bowl trophies yet. But
Right.
Just looking at what Howie Roseman did this weekend. I mean, it's I feel like he's out here playing chess, and some of these other guys are playing checkers. First of all, what's your opinion on this draft? And also, do you think it's possible that even with the free agent losses, that this team could be more talented than the Super Bowl team?
That's a great question. I would tell you that at the end of after the Super Bowl, you go through we're all very depressed, really tough emotional loss. Because you realize that team was so talented, that team was so special, so dominant, that how in the world will the Eagles ever get back to that level? And then free agency started, and it was, look, we were excited about Rashad Penny and Nicholas Morrow and Terrell Edmonds, but they're not like jump off the page multi-year superstar deals. So to do what the Eagles did this weekend, it really upgrades the roster like amazingly so. And I remember coming out of last year's draft thinking, well, okay, it was a great draft, and A.J. Brown, everybody's fired up about him, and Jordan Davis has a chance to play. But still, you got a cornerback need, and who's going to play safety, and how we then later address those needs with Bradbury and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But when I look at the roster now, and I've had this conversation a lot, we talk about the same things internally in the NovaCare complex that you guys talk about.
Mhm.
There's not like a position that really jumps out at me and says, wow, the Eagles really need to get this position or that position. They've done a great job. I'm not saying that Jalen Carter's going to come in here and be a Pro Bowler right away, nor Nolan Smith, or that, they're going to get immediate starters anywhere in this draft. Sidney Brown's but they have a chance. And there's so much depth in this roster. And I think what was so exciting to the Eagles this weekend was they laid out this agenda, and it didn't go exactly as planned, but they laid out this agenda and they were able to get players that they really, really liked. And they were able to do it without mortgaging any sort of future. You know, trading a 2025 fourth round draft pick for DeAndre Swift, even if that's only 1 year, you know, you expect Swift to make an impact however he does it. And team in a backfield, by the way, then I look at I go, all right, they lost Miles Sanders, but I'm a big Rashad Penny fan. And I know he's had injuries, and I know Swift has too, but so did Miles. You go, gosh, this group's better than last year in the backfield. You go Steen at offensive guard. Now, is he going to be a guard? Is he going to be a tackle? Don't quite know yet. I thought Sayamala was a really good player. Andre Dillard was a disappointing first-round pick, but somebody that you could plug in. Now they've got depth there, so maybe they're rated at this hopefully same level as they were last year offensive line. Defensive front, no contest. You lose Javon Hargrave, big loss, but you bring in Carter. Kentavious Street, I think, is going to be a nice addition, under the radar addition. You bring back Fletcher, bring back BG, you get Nolan Smith, you get back Derek Barnett, who I know, but Derek Barnett still can. If Derek Barnett is your fourth or fifth defensive end, sheesh. I mean, name a team in the league that's got that. Linebacker, you know, I'm a big Nicholas Morrow fan. We'll see how that develops and how. If I believe that Nakobe Dean's ready to step up. I think cornerback, they're loaded at cornerback. I think safety, at this point last year, we didn't know about Marcus Epps. There was no C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Big question marks. I think Blankenship's a good player. I think Terrell Edmonds is a solid player. And I think Sidney Brown has a chance to be a really good player. So, A, I love the draft because of what they were able to accomplish without giving up a lot. And then B, I think this roster, I mean, I think it potentially can be right at that level that it was last year. A lot of work to be done. Got to develop these guys. But, you know, the fact that Jalen Carter doesn't have to be a superstar when he walks in, and Nolan Smith doesn't have to be a superstar, and, you know, Steen, that really helps developing those young players.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you guys agree? You guys agree?
Yeah, definitely agree. Totally. Definitely agree. Speaking of Jalen Carter a little bit, everyone knows he can shred on the field. Are you concerned about his off-field issues at all?
I'm always concerned with every single rookie that comes in because I think that you know, I always judge a rookie by the first time they meet the media because it's such a huge number of reporters. It's generally a very aggressive form of questioning. But Jalen's been through it. Nolan's been through it. I think Jalen has really had a tough off season here. I hope he's learned from it. I don't know. Am I concerned about it? Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm going to keep my eye on it. I think everybody is. I think it takes a village I think everybody in this organization is going to do whatever we can to help Jalen Carter. And he's just a kid. You know, very unfortunate accident when his teammate and a Georgia staffer was killed. Tragic. You learn from that. I mean, there's no words to describe that. Not being in shape for the pro day, hell, you better be in shape now. Okay, all the banquet tour is over. Winning the national championship, doing all these top 30 visits. When he gets back into the building here later in the week for the rookie camp, and then stays in for the Eagles have a way of making sure that players live up to expectations. And I think with Fletcher, I think with Jordan Davis having gone through it last year, with players who know how much it hurt to get to the Super Bowl and to lose it, they're going to want to bring along young kids. So, I mean, Jalen's not a go out and party guy. He's really not until that moment this offseason, had never been any issues per se off the field. But he's got to grow up, and there's no excuses anymore. You have to come into the NFL and be a man, and that can be very challenging. So we'll see. I mean, the Eagles understand what they drafted here, and so I think they have a plan for it, and I know they're going to make a commitment to doing everything they can to bring out the very best in Jalen Carter.
So I seen you actually got an opportunity to sit down with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith the other day. What do you think about these kids? Are they good kids? You think they're ready for the
Yeah.
NFL?
Yeah, I mean, look, Nolan Smith is like the professor. Like he's D'Amico Ryan's. Like he'll be whatever he wants to be after his playing days are over. He's just polished, mature, president of the United States kind of guy. And Jalen's a young kid who, to me, was very nice. And when he was around the building, super nice to everybody, very cordial. We had like a little fan event with some season ticket members, and he was polite and willing to sign autographs, do pictures, do whatever. So he doesn't come in here like he's an asshole or anything like that.
Right.
He's got to just be but like we all were at 21, 22, you've got to be, an NFL player has to be in an environment where you have to be an adult. You're around adults. You're around players. This is their livelihood. This is no game anymore. This is a business. And so we'll see. I was impressed by both of them.
Nice.
Hey, David. Paul, how you doing? I have a question. Does Jordan Davis have a role in drafting these Georgia guys, teammates, or is strictly based on talent from that team?
No. The day that a team listens to a player is the day that team is going to have a new general manager.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, now look, did the Eagles talk to Jordan and N'Kobe and everybody they could talk to about Jalen and Ringo and Smith? Yeah, of course. You talk to everybody. But no, it's not like a player lobbied on behalf of Jalen Carter. The Eagles were on top of Jalen Carter for a long time here. And to get him at the expense of a, fourth round draft pick next year, pretty great deal. They just wanted to make sure they got him. But once he got past Seattle at 5, everybody pretty much knew that Jalen Carter was the guy. And I think that was the hope going into the draft, that a dominant defensive force, a player who, it was described to me like this. The Eagles drafted a top 2 player in this draft, meaning Jalen Carter, and a top 15 player in this draft in round 1. So they knew they had Jalen rated right at the top of their board, and they had Smith rated in the top half of the first round. So that made night 1 a great night.
Yeah.
Was Bijan Robinson ever an option, or was that a lot of just talk?
No, I think they rated him really, really highly, but he was gone at 8. So I guess from that standpoint, he wasn't an option. I mean, there was no way the Eagles were going to trade up for a running back. As you saw, they get a player who's very talented, really, really versatile in what DeAndre Swift brings to the table. And people just don't talk about this, but to me, like, this is the biggest factor. He can go be Brian Westbrook, and there's nobody else on this roster who can do that. Meaning he can go line up in the slot. He can go line up wide. He can catch, passes in motion. He can run wheel routes. He can get matched up on somebody who has no earthly chance of covering him. And that kind of matchup is devastating for defenses. So you got to match up against A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, the run game, and DeAndre Swift, and a quarterback who, if you get to him, can run away from trouble. I mean,
good luck.
If the Eagles just stay healthy, this could be a really great offense.
That was a great point about the Westbrook thing, because you just had a vision. I just had a vision in my head of like Penny in the backfield, and then Swift in the slot. And how do you game plan against that with like you said, with Devontae Smith, and Brown and Goddard? I mean, there's a plethora of weapons.
Plethora. And then, Olamide is also a good receiver, slot, move around blocker. You've got tight ends that you can use. You don't have to go to two tight end sets all the time. I mean, there really are a lot of different personnel combinations that the Eagles can use. And they were never really able to displace Miles. Like Miles, his ability as a receiver, it just kind of plummeted. I remember the first year he caught 50 passes or whatever. And his first year that he played a lot, and then the numbers just went down. DeAndre is a great receiver, and we haven't really had that here for a long time.
Dave, do you actually see Kaylee Ringo or Sidney Brown stepping right in as impact players?
I don't think Ringo. I think Ringo's, but we'll see. I mean, Ringo's a young guy. I think Brown's going to have a chance. Brown was a 5-year starter at Illinois. He's really intelligent, very seasoned. Ringo's 20 years old, extremely talented. You want to develop him. He's not a redshirt, but you want to give him a chance to develop and learn. I I don't look unless the Eagles, again, just stay healthy. But hopefully Ringo won't have to play this year.
Hey, real quick, just based off of Ringo, we got our guy Joey P. Wood has an interesting question here. He says, "Hey Dave, do you see Ringo as a safety or a corner in the NFL?"
Safety. I'm sorry, cornerback. Yeah,
Corner,
cornerback.
okay.
Yeah. And Greedy Williams, cornerback, not safety.
Okay.
Now, down the line, again, it's going to be really important. Like, once they get these guys on the field and see what they can do, maybe that changes. But right now, the plan is that Greedy comes in and competes for an outside cornerback job. Ringo does the same.
Gotcha.
What player on this active roster can be an under the radar player, whether it be rookie or veteran, could stand out to you, Dave?
My brain is so scrambled right now. Olamide. I think Olamide is pretty darn good. I think you'll be surprised at how good he is and how he fits. Again, I don't know how many balls are going to be thrown his way.
Mm-hmm.
I think Reed Blankenship is way better than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think Nicholas Morrow. I don't think Nicholas Morrow. Like, I don't think people. He started 17 games for the Bears last year. He played every snap.
Mm-hmm.
He's bigger than you'd think. He's a physical guy. I envision him in the middle at Mike linebacker and N'Kobe on the weak side.
Okay.
How about Milton Williams? I mean, I know Milton Williams has been around for a while, but I thought Milton came on last year. I think Kenny Gainwell came on last year. The more you talk about the roster and you go up and down the list, you go, this is a really, really good football team. And they got to develop, and there's a long way to go here. But, okay, you'd love Aaron Siposs to be averaging 47 yards a punt. You'd love, the return game to be more. But, look at every team in the league. There's always somewhere you want better. It's hard to find places on this roster.
Is he gonna give competition to Siposis?
Who's Siposis? Aaron Siposs is the name. I mean, the kid I'm sorry, who'd you say?
Tyler Zandit from Kansas State, the undrafted free agent, or nah?
I haven't seen him punt in the NFL. He wasn't a super highly rated punter, was he? He's like the 12th rated punter in the draft. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, I thought Aaron was fine until he got hurt, and then he had a really bad punt in the Super Bowl, and I hope he bounces back from that because there's only so many resources the Eagles have, and but certainly they got to be better. They got to be a lot better on special teams. And a player like Justin Evans comes in and will be a depth player at safety, and I think a very good player on special teams. I think Nolan Smith has a chance to be a really good player on special teams with his speed. But yeah, I mean, special teams was disappointing last year at times.
Do you think all the guys that are on the roster here, this is the roster we're looking at day one of the season, or does Howie have more moves in him?
I mean, Howie always has more moves in him.
He
can't sit still. I mean, here's what happens. Like, so what they do now, they go back and they look at every team in the league, and they go and they do depth charts for every team in the league, and they go, all right, the Cardinals are going to cut this guy, this guy, this guy. Maybe we want to keep an eye on those players. Let's do scouting reports on those players. So by the time the offseason goes, and then the cuts, remember the cuts are all in one cut this year.
Yeah.
With getting down to 53. The Eagles will have scouting reports on every team. They'll have every player. And so and they'll see what players might be available via trade as you get into the closer to training camp period. There are veterans. There are going to be quality veterans on the street. So you better be sure that the Eagles will be sniffing around those players. Absolutely.
Dave, do you see Cam Jurgens penciled in as the Offensive guard, starting offensive guard.
No.
Guard.
Nope. I think he'll compete.
Okay.
Jack Driscoll's there. Sua Opeta's there. Steen may get a look there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cam Jurgens will be a great center. My only question is he's 310 pounds ish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an offensive line that's anchored by a 310-pound center, as
Right.
great as Jason Kelsey is. One of the reasons he's been so great is because he's always had big guards.
Right.
Dickerson,
Yeah.
Brooks, Harrimans, Sayamalo, always had those 320, 330-pound guys next to him. Because if I'm a defense, you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to blow up Jason Kelsey. Right. And it's harder to do that when you've got 325-pounders next to him. So that's my only question about Cam Jurgens.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of Driscoll? Because I mean, I know you see him play right tackle, and obviously nobody's Lane Johnson, so he looks like the Saints game out, it looked like he struggled. But 2 years ago, I was reading like Pro Football Focus had him rated like very highly when he was playing guard. Like, do you think that they think he has a real shot to possibly be the starting right guard? I mean, I know.
Yeah, I think so. I think you also realize that it's a 17-game season. You're going to need a lot of players. Is he big enough to hold up? He's had injury problems. He's not the biggest guy either. Ideally, you'd love to see a 330-pound guy there. So we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, I think the offensive line. I don't think the Eagles will ever be cheated on the O-line. They've got really good depth with Opeta and Jurgens and Driscoll and now Steen, and there'll be some young players that you have not heard of that Stoutland will mold into great players or good players or serviceable players. You can get away with having an okay guard, and Sayamalo was a good guard. He was just a tick below Pro Bowl. So if you can get somebody at that level, man, if you can coach somebody up to that level, and if your offensive line can be as good as it was last year, and you can find that swing tackle to back up Lane or back up Jordan, oh my gosh. And you've already, man, that would be, if the O-line can stay healthy, man, this offense is going to rock.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, listen, Dave, I really appreciate your time.
Mike, no questions from Mike? Come on, Mike.
Mike, you have another question?
Come on. No.
I was actually sad.
Mike, what do you think about Mike? Tell me what you thought of the draft.
Oh, I loved it. I give Howie an A+.
What do you love about it?
I mean, you had to beef up that defensive line. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. You traded for DeAndre Swift to replace, Miles Sanders. Plus, you got Rashard Penny. Who's the number one running back? Rashard Penny or DeAndre Swift?
Who gives a crap? I mean, I don't know. I don't give a crap.
Are we going back? To the Super Bowl?
I hope so. I mean, I don't make predictions like that. Too many things happen, but such a long ways away. I will say that Penny's something the Eagles haven't had since the days of like Eric Blunt, and I know he's been hurt a lot. He's younger than Blunt was, and if he's healthy with the way he runs, he's going to dominate. He's going to devastate defenses. He's so powerful. He's so good. He's a freak. He's averaged 6 yards a carry in his career. So, among the many things you have to manage in this offseason, Jalen Carter, this, and all these young players, that, got to keep these guys healthy and got to keep Rashard Penny healthy. So, if the Eagles can get to the regular season healthy, man, Mike, I think this run game will be the best in the league. I mean, I think there's so much versatility here that I can't wait to see Trey Sermon. See what Trey Sermon can do. Who, he's got a lot to prove here. I mean, he's all of a sudden going, geez, I may not even make this roster. So it's really healthy competition. What the Eagles have done is really challenge the roster, and nobody's coming in here going, I got this thing made. I've got this thing set, and I think that's the best way to be.
See the Eagles bringing in another tight end.
It was interesting. It was a draft. I'm sure they signed one.
It was a deep tight end draft.
Deep tight end draft. Yeah.
I thought Howie would have grabbed somebody.
They really like Jack and the Stullet, and they think Calcaterra is a good route running, athletic tight end. I think Tyree Jackson gets his chance again. So we'll see. I hope so. I mean, I hope. I mean, from number standpoint, I'm sure they will. But look, here's a great question. Like, okay, one of the darlings of last year in training camp in preseason was Devin Allen. Well, is Devin Allen going to get a chance to do anything here?
I mean, doesn't look like it. I mean, I know he's. Isn't he going to repeat? Isn't he in the is he in the Penn relays or something?
Hurdles, yeah.
I think he won the Penn relays. Yeah, I think he won the Penn relays.
So I think
So
he has more aspirations in the Olympics. Than, Jeremy Bloom.
So they'll challenge them. They'll challenge it, and there'll be players available. But right now, the Eagles are in great shape. And that's credit to the way they attacked this draft. It was a masterful job by Howie and those around him. It's not just Howie, but it was a masterclass for sure.
Dave, got one more question.
There you go.
What's your take of Sean Desai's defensive coordinator?
I don't know yet. I've only met him a few times. I sense that the scheme will be very similar to what Jonathan Gannon ran, but now that you've got Nolan Smith and Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick and BG, you have a piece here with Nolan. Maybe you move him around a little bit. Maybe he becomes a joker here, and he's over there lining up next to Josh Sweat in another snap. Maybe you've got more depth here. So I think he ideally would not like to blitz a lot. I mean, nobody wants to blitz, but we'll see. I don't have a sense of what he's going to do other than what the Eagles have said, and that is it'll be similar to what JG ran.
Yeah. Do you think they'll incorporate a lot of 34, being that Jordan Davis could play nose tackle and I think
the multiple fronts are definitely in the package for sure.
Yeah, and I just got another one more quick one here too. Like, we were talking about the draft, and I know was there anybody in the undrafted that they were specifically really excited about? Like, I've been reading a lot about this Eli Ricks, the cornerback from Alabama. Was that a guy that they kind of had not necessarily?
Because the Eagles haven't announced the signings.
Okay.
I really am not permitted to talk about them until they actually sign the contracts.
So
they've agreed to terms. Players can back out of that stuff. So I really would rather not comment on players until they're actually Eagles. Happy to do so in the future, but for every draft, I mean, there's going to be a gem in there somewhere. 3 guys made the roster last year, and Blankenship, played really good football. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, hey,
it's more than 53-man roster. It's 53-man roster. It's practice squad. There's a lot of pieces here.
Yeah,
it's going to be a darn good team.
Look at T.J. Edwards. He was undrafted and he started in the Super Bowl. You go back to Quentin Michael. I mean, there's a lot of guys.
Big Hollis. Yeah, a lot of guys.
Yeah. So,
how bad does Mitchell Passeron want to be an Eagle?
Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. How bad is Mitchell?
Who's Mitchell Passeron?
What language are you guys speaking over there?
Oh, well. What's that? Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
That's funny. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about Mitchell. I don't know about Michael Parsons, but Mitchell Passeron.
Mitchell Passeron really wants to be an Eagle.
That's his long-lost cousin.
Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, unfortunately, I think Mitchell Passeron's 40 is about 5.6.
Right. He's at the corner. He's at the corner bar waiting for the Sixers game to start.
Yeah. He's going to be highly disappointed because Joel Embiid just got ruled out. Really excited for that game now.
It's B-ball Paul night then.
Yes.
We'll read.
Yeah.
No, B-ball Paul, baby.
Let's do it. All right, fellas, I got to run. I got to get going, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We appreciate it.
Let's do it again, okay?
Go Birds.
Definitely. Have a great one.
Birds. Thanks, fellas. Great job.
Thanks, Dave. Have a good one.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was great.
Yeah. Mitchell P-Rons. That was great.
Yeah.
This is alias.
That was Pat. Yeah.
Pat, Polo Pat.
That's his well, you know what? That's what he uses in the hotels. You know, everybody has an alias for the hotels. Like some guys have
Michael Vick's was Ron Mexico.
Yeah, there you go, Ron. Yeah, you got Ron Mexico. Remember Catch Me? Remember the movie Catch Me If You Can? Remember Leonardo DiCaprio had Barry Allen. He flipped over to Tom Hanks. He's like, he handed him his wallet. He's like, Barry Allen. He's like, oh, that's the Flash. He's like, it's a kid. So, all right, you know what? So that was the good news. Okay, let's get into some bad news. But before we do, let me give a shout out to the sponsors here. All right, because we're going to get into some Sixers, but fortunately, highly disappointed with no Embiid. But let's get into sponsors here. So first, here's the Edge of Philly Sports lineup. There's something for everybody on here. I know tomorrow night in particular, you can check out Talking Sports with Matty B, which I wanted to shout out in particular because he is Howie Roseman's #1 fan. So I wore this shirt.
Howie we
trust. So make sure you check him out and check out all the shows. Check out my man Diego's and Austin and Gus's show about the union. They do a great job. Anybody out there with some legal problems, Joel
Embiid.
Yeah, exactly. Personal injury. Joel Embiid should call this guy because he's always hurt. All right. Call my man David R. Cherry Esquire, 610-565-0300. Like I said, workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law. www.cherryinjurylaw.com. So make sure you check that out. Coming up, we got Saturday, May 13th. When's that? What day are we in now?
Saturday, May 1st.
12 days from now.
I was going to say, I don't even know what day it is here.
2 weeks from now.
All right. So down at Dolan's, they are having a Philadelphia Sports Day. Hollis Thomas, who we just touched on, is a great undrafted Philadelphia Eagle. You got the Philly sports guys down there, Mickey Morandini, Charlie Manuel, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, PA, 19078. It's from 1 to 8. So make sure you check that out. Bang some balls around, drink some beers, have a good time. Right here, anybody out there, if you want to go to a sporting event, concert, theater, go on www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. You could save 10% off use EOP10. And then let's see here. You got Philly sports trips right here. I know Mike.
It's a spokesperson.
I know you're like the spoke. Why don't you take this one over? You are the spokesperson for this one.
Vince Rizzuto runs Philly sports trips. Can't go wrong. Vince and his crew will take care of you. Been on a couple trips last year, Washington, Houston. Second to none. You can't, you got the Kansas City trip that is up in the air. That could be in Germany. You got New England, Dallas. I believe the Rams, Seattle, Tampa's always a good time down there. So you can't go wrong with Vince Rizzuto. Philly sports trips, the best in the business.
Yeah, and you know what? And the NFL, it's been rumored the NFL schedule is going to come out May 8th. And I'll tell you what.
No, 11th.
Or May 11th. What did I say? The 8th? Same thing. It's 11th. Yeah, right. I knew it was the 11th. I don't know why I said the 8th.
It's usually a Thursday night.
Yeah. No, it is. But, I hope they don't do that to us, man, because, most sporting fans, like, Arrowhead Stadium's, like, on my bucket list. Like, I'm actually considering going to that because...
If they're smart, they do that.
Yeah, you got...
Who want...
Take away a team.
To Germany, but,
I'd rather go to Arrowhead.
Go stateside and see the Chiefs.
You hang out with Andy Reid at KFC.
All right, so let's get into some Sixers here. Well, I have Embiid status with the question mark, but I think we could have just taken the question mark away because did anybody actually really think he was going to play tonight? I had no.
I did. I thought he was going to play.
Actually, I told you how I feel he was going to.
Well,
I thought he was going to play. I thought it was a little bit of smoke. I thought they wanted, but of course, it's Joel Embiid, so we shouldn't expect that shit.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. Which one didn't have the heart?
The Tin Man.
The Lion, right?
Yeah, the Lion and the Tin Man.
The Tin Man.
I'm exactly with Diego. Like you have to live for this moment, man, to play. Yeah. We don't know the severity of the knee, but
Ben Simmons was the one that was the Tin Man. He had no heart.
Yeah, put a brace on me, just like Diego said, and I'm going to give you what I got. Whether it's 50, 70, 100, you got to go out and play.
Rub some tussin on that, John, man. Seriously, put some tussin on that, John. I mean, now listen. Here's the thing. I don't want to. We don't know. All right, to play devil's advocate, because I'm pissed too. Because it's so frustrating right now. The guy doesn't want to be hurt, so I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and be like champion of the Joel Embiid, defending Joel Embiid fan club, because I'm pissed off too, because I'm tired of this shit, right?
Year in, year out. Yeah.
But I gotta think that if he could have played, he would have, because if not, there must be a reason he's sitting out. Because you're telling me. If he had a chance to maybe, could he get hurt and worse? I mean, I don't understand it.
So if he's out game 1 now, is he questionable for game 2 again too? Like
that's what I don't understand.
We don't have him, dude. It's not looking good.
But just like you guys said, next man up, and just
Paul Reed's time to step up.
Paul Reed, the next man up has to step up and play.
The problem is though, basketball don't work like that. Basketball doesn't work like when you lose the best player in your team, the backup comes in and fixes it. Like, it's not like the NFL, like the year we went to the Super Bowl, guy got hurt, the next guy came in and he played just as good. There's not a player on this planet as good as Joel Embiid. So when you lose that guy, I know Paul Reed can step up. Paul Reed can step up for a game, but is he going to give us enough for us to win this series? Without Joel Embiid, we're toast.
Yeah, exactly.
True,
and
we don't know.
And he'll be fouled out by halftime anyway.
Well,
that's the thing with basketball. You do know, unless someone gets tragically hurt or you got Jimmy Butler, you know the higher seed's going to win.
Usually, nine times out of 10. I mean, Jimmy Buckets is on a whole other level.
Rolled his ankle yesterday.
Jimmy Jordan.
Yeah, but isn't there a couple of guys on Boston that are necked up as well? Not like Embiid, but.
Yeah, but I mean, Tatum's a killer for us. Not real. I mean, we plays good defense on him.
You got Jaylen Brown, you got Tatum, you got
Marcus Smart, Al Horford, White, Brogdon. Don't forget about Brogdon. Yeah, they're going to be way too much for us to handle without Joel Embiid. Now, I'm not saying we can't steal a game here. That we ain't winning the series without Joel Embiid making an impact on this series.
All right, so to play devil's advocate. If say he has an injury that's roughly a 2-week injury, okay? We're at about 11 days right now. 10 days, I think. 10 or 11 days, because he got hurt, what was it, Thursday of the Nets series.
And he didn't play.
So Saturday was 7 and today is like 10. So we're on 10 days, all right? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's possible maybe they're holding him out and do you think it's possible that if they lose tonight, he plays Wednesday, right? Mm-hmm. If somehow they steal this game tonight, he chills all the way to Friday. They come back to Philly 1-1, and then he plays Friday. That gives it a full. I
get it, but if you could play on Wednesday, now you're telling me you can't play today? They're a little bit of pain. 2 days.
Well, that's what I don't understand. Like, what's up with this? Like that's what I don't get. Like I don't know. Like, what's up with this pussy? I mean, well, I don't want to say that. Whatever. Like,
shoot it up with cortisone.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't get it.
Put a brace on it, and just like Diego said, go out there and see what you can give and get. You just can't say I'm not. Like you said, we don't know. But me being me, I put a brace on, and I would try my damnedest to see what I can give you. And if I can't give you 100%, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you all I got.
75, 80, it means better than nothing.
Exactly. And even like you said, just having him as a body kind of is good. Whether it's just don't be your regular player. Just sit in the paint, get the simple points instead of doing what you normally do. Dribble, three-pointer, But we'll see. We'll see that it come the next game. He has to play the next game. I'm hoping.
Here's Pat Bernard says we're going to need Maxey or Tobias to take over tonight. The problem is, though, I mean, hopefully this changes, but Maxey has really struggled against Boston, so we're going to need Maxey to really step it up. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights with a comment. They say, "Yo, hey, what's up? Thanks for checking us out."
Yeah.
Thanks for checking in. How you doing?
All right. So do we? All right. So let's get into. I guess let's get into tonight, and then let's get into the series. All right. So do we? Do we have any chance? All right, we have no chance to win the series without Joel Embiid, obviously.
Absolutely.
Do we have a chance to steal tonight's game? Does Boston possibly overlook us? Does James Harden somehow for one night look 5 years younger? You know, what do you guys think? Is there hope for tonight? Let's take that.
There is hope. They had a longer series than we did. No matter what, they had a longer series than we did. We have fresher legs right now with the guys that are going to be on that court.
Exactly.
If you're going to steal one, this is the one you steal. This is the one you steal. Game 2, they're ready. They beat you already. They seen you without Joel Embiid. If we don't got you without Joel Embiid in game 2, now they really know you. You know what I'm saying? Now they really got something to game plan off of. But if you're going to steal one, tonight's the one you can steal.
You take one and come back to Philly, 1-1. Hey. Why not?
That's a win for us. If we come back to Philly 1-1, that's a win for us.
Yeah. Problem is though, is that I think even if the Sixers take one, I feel like Boston's going to win one here. So I think best case scenario for this series is that you got to hope it's 2-2 after 4. And Embiid is playing, and then it's a best of 3, and you got to find a way to win one in Boston. That's just how I feel, because I feel like I would love to say the Sixers could take one in Boston, then come back to Philly and win games 3 and 4, but I just don't see it. I feel like if the Sixers can win on their floor, shown they can win here. So I feel like either way, each team's going to win one on the road, and then the Sixers. This is why home court's so big, because the Sixers are going to have to win a second one up there.
I was going to say, there's the issue. You see Sixers winning 2 on Boston's court in a playoff series? I don't,
but it'd be awesome, though.
It'd be awesome.
Stranger things have happened.
We find a way to win this series somehow with Embiid at 50%, 50-60%. Is that enough to win his championship going forward after that?
Boston's the best. You know what's ironic though? I feel like Boston's the best team. I mean, if the Sixers can get past Boston, then they Jimmy Bucket scares me, but I think the Sixers could beat Miami or the Knicks. So then we're in, and then it comes down to, can you beat a Golden State or a Phoenix or Denver or LeBron?
I'll tell you one thing: Miami's one team I wouldn't want to play right now. Because Buckets is on a mission.
I agree.
There's no stopping that man. That man is possessed, and he's on a mission.
Yeah, I agree.
Got the injury.
4-1. Honestly, I see exactly Mike's prediction right there. 4-1 Celtics. That could happen 100%, and I wouldn't be surprised about it.
I need it to go at least 6.
I know you need it to go 6. That don't mean it's going 6.
True.
I hear you, but I'm saying. I agree with Mike's prediction. I agree that Mike's prediction could come to fruition, but I'm hoping to God, I don't want to lose, but if the Sixers do lose, at least if it goes 6, I can,
just being cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
At this point.
All right, so let's just do a prediction for tonight. Win or loss? Mike, what do you think?
Gonna go loss.
All right, Diego.
I'm going win. Sixers are gonna win tonight.
So am I. Let's go. I feel like we're like remember Dumb and Dumber, where they're like, so you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, right? So you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm with you.
All right, what do you think? Win? All right, Paul.
I'm gonna say win only because we have a slight edge because they had that long series with Atlanta and we coasted and we will have more rest, and I'm sure they were game planning not having Embiid. So I think we steal this one tonight. But if we don't have Embiid second game, I think we go back Philly 1-1.
Okay. All right. Now for the
what do you think, Joe?
I'm putting my balls on the table. I say we're winning.
Okay.
I told you earlier today that It's for some strange reason I feel good tonight, even without Embiid, because I feel like this could be now missing your star player over the course of time. You're going to be screwed. But for one particular night, I could see the Sixers stepping up and winning this game tonight. And if that's the case, it can give you some real hope because then Embiid doesn't have to play till Friday. And
we need Tobias Harris to have a big game tonight. To me, he's the most important player tonight. He's got to make Jason Tatum work on the defensive end.
Yeah. So Adam G says Boston in 5.
Okay.
Mike Lauro says he's hoping 4-0 Sixers. Well, I mean, hey,
We all are, yeah.
I mean, I was
It's
hoping
like Bon Jovi's song, "Living on a Prayer."
I was hoping to hit the
Big
Powerball, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Pat Bernard, Sixers need to play. What the hell is this? Sixers need to play 3-2 defense. What's he talking about? 3-2.
This ain't soccer, Pat. This ain't soccer, dude.
What's he, Ted Lasso? All right, Sixers need to play 3-2 defense. Well, you know what? So there was a Ted Lasso episode, and Ted Lasso was watching the Chicago Bulls, and he was learning the triangle offense. I don't know. Maybe Pat's watching Ted Lasso.
Pat, what was in those chocolate chip cookies?
B-Ball Paul with PJ Tucker. We need a decent perimeter game from Milton. I don't think Milton's going to play much, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We need Milton to step up.
Ball Paul is going to have a good game. I think he steps up.
Playoff PJ. PJ played well against the Nets. I'll give him that, but he wasn't really hitting his threes. We need PJ Tucker to hit like at least like 45-50% from his threes. He doesn't get that many times, but say if he gets 4 or 5 3-pointers, he needs to make at least like 3 of them, Joel.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we get James Harden for a night?
Yeah, which one? I want the 2019 one, if that's possible.
Right? I was saying, can we get James Harden for a night?
Yeah.
Like the real James Harden?
I'll tell you.
Will the real James Harden please stand up? Please stand up.
Yeah, Dave Yarnell, he says, "Hey, Sully Squad, how deep does Doc go on the bench tonight?" Well, I hope not that deep.
Until he finds a hot hand, really.
Backup.
Bang, bang, Niang?
No. The backup center. You think he's going to play?
Oh, Markel Harrell.
Harrell. You think Harrell plays?
I don't. Maybe a little bit.
But like to your point, hopefully B-Ball Paul is not in foul trouble tonight, and we see some appearance from Harkle or whatever.
So you know who I think's a key in this series, though? I think McDaniels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we, what's his face? PJ Tucker is going to stick Tatum, and he did a good job on Tatum the last few games.
Yeah.
We really don't have anybody to stick Jaylen Brown, but McDaniel has some size and he's got some athleticism, and maybe he could at least. I mean, he's not going to stop Jaylen Brown. Let's keep it real. Jaylen Brown's a hell of a player, but maybe he can. Maybe if he gets some tick, maybe he can make Jaylen Brown at least have to break his balls a little bit to get his 20.
What about your boy Daniel House?
Daniel House.
I'll tell you what. Nah, Joe, we might need a little bit of we might need some Daniel House this year. Because Niang, Boston's defense might stifle Niang a little bit. We might need a little more athleticism in this series. Guys who can, especially tonight, no Joel Embiid, we got to fly up and down the court to beat these guys. Niang's slow as hell. We might need a little bit of Daniel House tonight.
Cut them off cut the
See, I told you, Diego. I told you, Daniel House, baby.
Maybe
he comes in handy. Do you never know?
I'm just hoping also comes out sluggish.
Hey.
Not on fire.
Yeah, see, that was me. That was me when I wrote that article, Diego. I had a vision for Boston.
You did, Kate. You got a vision. We might need him because Niang's slow as shit.
It's always an unsung hero.
Yeah.
Here might be one. Hambo 26 says, "I think DeAnthony Melton's going to have a good series." Well, I'll tell you what, he better, because if he don't play well, I don't think we're doing well. We
need him to bother one of their guards. Really, I mean, like, you're not going to slow Boston down, but we got to make some big stops and big moments. That's where we need Melton.
Yeah.
Big stops, big turnovers,
steals. Yeah, you're right.
And get us to 10 points a game.
All right, so next time we do this show, 4 games would have been completed.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do it. So we might be entering Game 5. Let's just do a series. Let's just do a series prediction here. Since it's starting. All right, and one without Sixers colored glasses. Let's do it like a realistic one, which is going to really hurt me. But Mike, what's your prediction on this series?
Say Boston in 6.
Okay, Diego.
By the time we come back to next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the whole series?
Just do the whole series.
The whole series.
I mean, Boston in 6.
Yeah. All right, that's what I think, unfortunately. I'm holding my nose as I say it, but what do you think?
Yeah, 4-2 Boston.
All right.
It breaks my heart. Boston in 6.
All right. But let's hope we're all wrong, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if that's the case,
but if we steal this game tonight and we do get Joel Embiid back for Game 3, anything can happen, baby.
Anything can happen, yeah.
Okay. So if all right, now that obviously will have us all down. But you know what though? Let's end the show on a few things that'll make us happy. First off, you know what?
Like the Flyers. End the note on the Flyers, dude.
Who are they?
Well, I'll tell you what.
You said to make us happy. I said, and with the Flyers.
Well, you know what?
Bryce Harper being back.
I'll tell you. You know what? Exactly. That's what I wanted to get into. But
It's not Bryce Harper. It's Wolverine. My God.
Well, Wolverine's Brian Dawson.
And MVP is back. But before we move on to that, there was something that happened in the NBA yesterday that. All right, I'm a Magic Johnson. I mean, I hated the Lakers, okay? I'm a diehard Sixers fan.
Yeah.
My whole life, I've always thought Magic Johnson was the best all in my life, all right? There's still a part of me that does think that to a point.
I know where you're going.
Got to keep it real, though. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy, especially at his size, change the game of basketball the way Steph Curry did. I mean, my God, that dude had 50 on the road in a Game 7.
Like the beam.
He might. Steph Curry.
He's the best point guard of all time.
I'll tell you, I never thought that I would go there, because you know, Diego, I'm a little bit more of an old head, but I consider myself a little progressive. I mean, I'm a Michael Jordan guy, but I've told you many times if I was building a team, believe it or not, I probably would take LeBron because he could do more things on the court. So I see things. I could kind of see things in the middle, and I'm kind of coming over to your way of thinking, because as good as Magic Johnson was, Magic Johnson would have never dropped 50 on the road. Well, you know, he was a different kind of player, but Steph Curry is just on a whole other level. Best shooter I've ever seen in my life.
I was watching a clip the other day. It was like Steve Kerr. He's like in the first season with Steph Curry, he's like, I seen him put up a shot. All I kept thinking in the back of my head was like, kept hearing Phil Jackson's voice and all the coaches from the past. That's a horrible shot. That's a horrible shot. He's like, then after the season, numbers don't lie. He made the shots at 40% clip. It's every time he puts a shot up, no matter where it's from on the court, it's a good shot. There's not another player in the NBA, in the history of the NBA, you can say that about. Anywhere on the court, on one side of half court, no matter where he pulls up, that's a good shot.
Did you guys see the picture of the fan looking at Steph as he sealed the deal with that shot, and the fans looking at him and he's looking at him, just glancing him down the court with the
what did you see Steph? Did you see
like
Steph?
The beam?
Well,
like
yeah,
the beam.
And then he's like, y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready.
Yeah, y'all ain't ready for this shit. He said, y'all ain't ready for this shit.
And I'll tell you what, man. You know, Sacramento, man for man, Sacramento has more talent than Golden State.
Sacramento was the better team, I think, by a decent amount.
Yeah, a hell of a year.
Now, here's the thing: if Fox didn't break his finger or whatever, do they win?
No.
I'll tell you, you know what hurt Sacramento? Sabonis came up really small.
What do you mean broken finger? They went 2 Golden State in 1 Game 6.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah, but still, but But Fox wasn't as effective as he
Yeah.
could have been, though. I think
That's
that's
what I'm
Sean's
saying.
point. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm saying.
Like yes, they did win in Golden State in Game 6, but like Fox was just a little bit not quite as effective as he could have been. You know what I mean? It could.
Does anybody beat Steph Curry yesterday?
No,
Or the game? Does anyone beat him? I don't think anyone beats them that game.
no, that performance like was almost reminiscent of like Allen Iverson Game 1 in the finals with the fatigue ain't nothing but army clothes.
Yeah, he put up what? How many shots he put up that game? He put up 41 shots. He went 18 for 41 to get 48 points. You know, like that's the last time I can remember someone. The whole game plan was just get Steph Curry to a spot on the court and let him shoot. Same thing he did with Allen Iverson every game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of? Well, I want to get to Dave Yarnell's comment real quick. What do you guys think of Golden State Lakers, Steph versus LeBron again? I think Golden State's taking that series.
Yes, they are.
What do you think?
I think so.
I don't know. That's a close series to me.
Lakers are playing really good, though. I'll tell you
who's playing really good. AD's playing like a monster. On the defensive side of the ball, he has completely taken that basket away. I think if you get that AD, I think the Lakers can win that series.
Well, AD ain't in no street clothes no more.
No, he hasn't been in street clothes. He's not street clothes right now.
AD, yeah, exactly. All right, real quick before we move on, before we close out with the Phils here, Dave Yarnell says, "Hey guys, how about Miami winning Game 1 over the Knicks? Jimmy buckets again, pretty big. See what the status of his ankle is, but you know,
but I'm saying handle are questionable too now for game 2.
Wow.
Well, the Nick, if Brunson's questionable, the Knicks got major issues. Then Miami might be going to Miami up 2-0.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh wow, Dave Yarnell. Hey Sully, be honest, Curry or Andrew Toney?
Steph Curry.
Dave, I love Andrew Toney, and if Andrew Toney didn't hurt his foot, Andrew Toney would be in the Hall of Fame right now. Unfortunately, he got hurt.
The Boston Strangler.
Yeah.
As great as
Right
Andrew Toney was, he's not Steph.
They're not even in the same category.
No, but Andrew Toney was great though, Diego.
He was great.
He was
but
a hell of a player,
Curry.
Andrew Toney.
Look at the
Great,
video.
good defensive player. Whatever. Got at Boston. That made you guys feel good. He was never Steph Curry.
No, I agree. Steph. I mean, listen, Steph Curry's the best shooter I ever in my life. I mean, I've seen a lot of great shooters. You know, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, Larry Bird, but I've never seen a guy shoot like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's the best. Steph Curry's dad was a really good shooter.
Del Curry,
Del Curry.
He ain't his son. His son is unreal, man. I mean, I've never seen anybody have the range that Steph Curry has. I mean, he can, like you said, Diego. I mean, he can. You have to fear him. He could be right inside the freaking half court line, and you're thinking, "Oh God, that joint's going in." Like, you know,
that's like anytime. You know the only other player that remind what? Come on, Dave. Let's not be an old guy right now. Let's not just see it through an old pair of glasses.
What's wrong being an old guy?
You cannot tell me you watch Steph Curry play and Andrew Toney and can say Andrew Toney all day. We're talking about a guy who changed the NBA forever. Andrew Toney wasn't doing that.
No, and
Andrew Toney wasn't winning 3 championships. Andrew Toney wasn't an MVP. Andrew Toney is not Steph Curry.
Different era, and his foot got hurt.
But by the way, you know what, though? Thank you, though, Dave, because as soon as we end this show and I'm watching the Sixers game, I am putting for good luck, I'm putting my Toney number 22 on the night. So let's go. Thank you, Dave. You got me thinking Andrew Toney. I'm rocking the
besides,
baby.
You go back to those 80s teams. I mean, besides Moses, Doc, Mo Cheeks, I mean, Andrew Toney was a big part of that.
He was. But all right, so before we get out of here, though, let's get to somebody who's a big part of the returning National League champions, who, by the way, are playing really good ball. They just took two. What are we? What? 2 or 3?
2 out of 3.
500 right now.
And then we took. Didn't we? We took 2 or 3 against the Seattle too, right? All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I've been so focused on basketball and the draft. I'm like drawing a blank. I'm like, wait a minute. I forgot.
Series with the Dodgers tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is Bryce Harper a human being?
No, he's Wolverine. He has that.
He's not a human being. He's like the fastest recovery from Tommy John surgery ever.
TP.
Sean, there's only one Wolverine.
You know, you know what it is, bro? It's Unbreakable. Bryce Harper.
Yeah, he's Bruce Willis.
Bryce Harper is Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And
that's what he is.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Dude, that's the best comparison you could ever make. That is fucking on point.
Like he could blow.
Joel Embiid, Samuel L. Jackson.
The wind. I can't come out.
Well, Joel Embiid does like comic books, don't he?
Oh man,
he loves comic books. Yeah, and you know what's funny? Yo, that movie was filmed in Philadelphia, yo.
Yeah, it was.
That movie was.
It wasn't Philly. Yeah,
it's us. Yo, keep Bryce Harper away from work. Then we got issues. Right?
Dude, it's popular.
So let me get a comment. Miko Spencer here. He says Babyface Curry is the man. He took over Game 7, 50 points. The Babyface assassin. Yeah, I agree. So
on the road.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Bryce Harper, aka Wolverine, aka Bruce Willis from Unbreakable.
B3000.
All right. Looks like he's going to play tomorrow. What do we got this week? We got the Dodgers. Oh, then we got the Red Sox coming in.
Yes.
Wow, think about this for a second. How is South Philly this weekend? You're going to have Bryce Harper. You're going to have New England. New England's doing an invasion on Philadelphia. You're going to have the Red Sox here and Boston here. Boy, you know what? David Archerry, get ready, brother, because you may have some calls. You know what I'm saying? There may be some personal injuries and some criminal law going on this weekend with Philly and Boston fans getting together down there in South Philly. I don't know. That might be good for our sponsor, bro.
Ain't gonna be the Boston Tea Party. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, there may be a different kind of Boston strangling going on. You know what I mean? Andrew Tony, you might be seeing some fisticuffs going on in that parking lot. You know, I don't call for that. I say everybody watching peace. But, hey, it is sports. People do go crazy.
And alcohol's involved, and then that's it.
Exactly. So, all right. So, what do you guys think? MVP's back. Do you think it's gonna? I think it's probably gonna take Bryce a little bit to get going. What do you guys think? Because I think he's just been doing like batting practice like with Ranger Suarez. You think? I think we got to temper our expectations a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I don't expect him to come in and just smash every pitch, but if Bryce Harper comes in and smashes every pitch, I'm not going to be surprised either. Yeah. So if he needs a couple weeks, no big deal. Let him get back in the groove of things, but he's Bryce Harper, dude. He'll be back.
Adds a little power to that lineup too, I mean,
and if everyone starts hitting, Castellanos has been
Castellanos on fire.
Marsh is
turning up, and then all of us hitting at one time.
Marsh is just playing good baseball, man.
Yeah,
from the walks to the hits to the defensive play. I mean,
I know it is amazing though. Like not to get back to a bad subject, but and I feel like there's such a part of me that feels so bad for Joel Embiid because the guy doesn't want to be hurt. But like, what the hell, man? Like,
boo-hoo, Joe. Boo-hoo. I feel bad for him. So bad for him. Get out of here. Boo-hoo. Get on the court. Put the brace on. Man, I'm so tired of this guy. Our guest last week. I still kind of feel bad for him. Feel bad for him? Feel bad for what? The $40 million he made this year? Get on the court. Stop being a bitch, dude.
I know, but what I was about to say is that it's such bullshit that we got a guy that came back like at a record time from Tommy John, and he's probably, let's be honest, he might have a little bit of pain, but he's out there playing. Meanwhile, Joel Embiid can't even play in the playoff game. That's what I'm saying.
Bryce Harper showed up like playing like his best baseball with his messed up elbow. The whole World Series, he was hurt.
Who wants it more, basically? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we don't know how bad his injury is, though, too, though.
True.
It's all
But,
about
like,
heart.
Wow.
No matter in sports.
I agree.
It's all about heart.
He don't have that. That's exactly what Embiid don't have. He ain't got no heart. Maybe he's played through some tough injuries, but even when he's out there playing through them injuries, he's pouting on that court the whole entire time.
If, like, for example, since we were talking,
Got no heart.
when they played the Nets and Nick Claxton is over, if I'm Embiid and Claxton's coming over me, you better make damn well when we're in the paint, he's getting a nice elbow right to those ribs, that toothpick.
No.
I'm going to let them know.
That's old school.
You know, it's old school.
That's old school when they would throw the fisticuffs.
Yeah. And just like Diego said, you got to put a knee on just to see what you can give, not only the team, but us as the fans, as we're talking right now. What are you going to give? But,
Yeah.
Well, if you're the true MVP, step up and be the MVP.
True.
Exactly.
It's all about what's in here. You can have all the, like Robert De Niro said in The Bronx Tale, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Yeah. And when you're watching playoff games, you're just wasting your talent.
Maybe it's our karma. Maybe it's our karma for the process. You know, maybe it's karma. I don't know, because all I know is the Sixers have had shit luck for years. But getting back to Bryce Harper before we bounce, Hambo 26 says Bryce Harper put MVP season with the torn UCL. Absolute legend. Totally agree.
There you go.
And you know,
big time.
Bryce Harper's already had his playoff moment, with hopefully more to come. Maybe some year Joel Embiid will have his, but I won't ever bank on it, because you know the Sixers could be about to clinch the finals, and he'll be out. You know what I mean? Can you imagine Sixers could be up like 3-0? They're like, oh, by the way, Joel Embiid can't play. Lose 4 in a row.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Oh,
Let's hope that our guys come up big today.
Yeah.
They get bounced out by Sixers get bounced out by Boston. Heads are rolling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go, who's going to be your unsung hero tonight for the game? I say
Tobias Harris.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not playing well. I think Maxey has a great game.
I'm saying Melton.
Okay. So we each got everybody different players. I mean, yeah, let's roll with it, man.
I actually want
I'd
to
say
see
Tobias.
Okay.
I'm actually going to look at what
Tobias is Tobias going into the last year of his contract. This is crucial for him in this off season.
Definitely.
Foulest ball, you know. He's up on the fouls, and I think he'll be all right, you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let me look at this. I'll tell you what. You know what I like? I like James Harden's over. James Harden's over under is only 22.5. I think Harden looks to score tonight.
Okay.
That might not be a bad bet out there for anybody that lays a few little wagers. James Harden over 22.5. And you know what? Diego, if you think Tobias is going to do well, Tobias's over is only 16.5.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm gonna go take that right now.
I kind of like
Finish
that.
the show up.
Jump on that one.
Well, then we out of here so you can get your fan duels in. All right.
Yeah, let's get it in.
All right. So, all right, let's go. Play the song. Hopefully, I know we all predicted Boston. It makes me sick. But hopefully by this time next week, the Sixers are actually up 3-1 and Joel Embiid's playing, and we're all dead wrong.
Hey, the Bruins.
Yes, sir.
What the Boston shows.
Yo, yes.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. The Boston Bruins had the best record in NHL history, and they choked like crazy and last night. So let's hope it's the start of a really shitty week in Boston.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
That's the President's Cup for you.
All right, well, listen. Play the song.
I got 3.
Go Sixers, go Phillies, and we'll
See
be
you
back
next week, brother.
See y'all.
Go